So the boats come in, charcoal shadows etched on liquid gold. She is not always so fine a mistress, her depths combed smooth with light. I have waited through nights of her grey lady, webbed with mist, while she whispered her possession on the bloodless stone. I have watched her raking claws rise, a green harlot shrieking spit, jealously making her grave bed ready below the heaving sheets. This dusk is still, and holds the cat purr of engine and the call of voices, clear on shore as if an echo sounded near. You will come, a stranger dying in your eyes, that man I have never known, tasting of tears, salt fingerings in your hair, her blood kisses whitening on your mouth. I know only your feet at the fireside, your hungers and your tossing sleep, the wearing of you and the leavings. It has been a long standing between us, these dry shore waits, but now, on this late tide, I feel the child swell within me. I will wait your landfall, the wet song of rope, the scrape of wood, the alien crop of you, and know a new strangeness, for I too am fishing in the drift of a setting sun. A girl in a brown print dress dances on the surface of the stream, her quick feet finding where the rocks below reach up for air. I see her through a lens of time, this skipping godchild. Then again, with her head bent and hair falling as shadow on her face, she sits, tipping fingers in the water to catch and lose the dreaming light, to catch and lose. The shutter clicks. The girl lies tight between the whitest sheets, a small brown knot parcelled for the night, thin shoulders huddled by her hands, thighs like clams against the adult shadow of her bed. I watch a coloured snapshot, captured on an album page, turn monochrome, as she chameleons into disguise behind the blankest eyes. A woman appears, you know, old wife on the street, coquettish wi' a brutish lump o' a man, saft while shushing a grand wee newborn, hung like an eagle our bingo books, nodding transpirted at TV soaps. A bouncer to her drunk o' a son, landlord cawing time, pits him out, brings him in. A calculator o' change juggling her purse, the street's gossip column, the wounded's nurse, tongue sharp as her een, watching other folks' bairns. Hurt fou as the moon, with troubles no her ain. The political discurser on the grocery van, chapping horns hanging routine on the rope. Should lay you out cold if you step out of line, and lay you out still when you run out of time. Have you ever tried them jiu-jitsu classes? I went once, me and another couple of lasses. You want to have seen your own man, the muscles. Black belt 5th Dan, and mean right enough. One punishment machine, but tough. You had us skirting round that hall for hours, doing jumping jacks and bunny hops, and a lot of bending and stretching. It was staying me harem. And that was just to get warm. I was for gone. Then I heard them say, something I knew I could do. New touch your toes. Easy money. Do na goes. Right, says he, this time with your nose. Nose, no joke. It gave me the boke, doubled up in the flare with all the folk there. And then trying to choke some bloke what flung me on the ground. I said, hey son, wait a minute. That's no fair. And I got him by the hair. Well, he went spare. Seems he'd just had it done. Pricey and fancy. Right wee Nancy. Back at the front, he was shouting again, "You get your earrings out till they burn." Thought he was having a funny turn. That's a laugh. It felt like my earrings were coming off. "Keep them wrist out till you fall with the pain." Tell you what, I'll no be going there again. Pain, I mean to say, you can get that at home any day. I was wasting my time, breaking my spine had been a help against muggers and rapists, so I let out a yelp. Cancel my subscription. This isn't fun. When I want protection, I'll go and buy a gun. That's when muscles comes out. He could have done me a shower by this time and says, "So shoot me then. Come on, hen." And he caught my finger and I'm flying. See, when I came down, the whole hall was going round. Says he, considering, "You'll need to learn how to fall." Learn to fall. I was struck dumb. I thought that's what had happened when the flare hit my bum. So if you fancy trying it, a word for the wise. Whatever else you do, dinna criticise. Mechanical shovels scrape the soft felt of your mossy slopes. Torn brown welts bleed water, ooze clay, and the tearing in my breast lays bare the green that was my blood turned grey, and I am ankle deep in you. My hands seek stone. My fingers, searching suddenly naked boulders, touch bone. Once I walked your skies, sucked you on my tongue, ate you with my eyes, filled pores with your dew. You did not love me, expressed disinterest with wind-stroked grasses. Your business was eternal, but you let me share your curves, your hollows, and your wild despair. The child me saw risen larks, hung on crested air, wandered streams thoughtfully mocked by curlews, made play, hunting as hound, running with the hare. Our dreaming life understood all but the rude stamp of steel under the nightmare heel of jack-booted gain. And now it is you, laid open, wounded, raped, made to weep black tears down your seamed and haggard face, while the iron jaws keep crunching and metal teeth tear flesh. I turn from spilt rock, pull feet free from this grey-brown muck of you. Sun would have burned your scars onto my sight, split my brain on this bruised skeleton. Thank God for rain, and I can leave this grave unmourned. You are not here. I am a rock, and you break on me. Your waves gather a rush of horsemen from the deep, this race of men, eager to bleed. They come, momentum honed to shatter on my shore, sucked back, weeping as they split, dismayed but reunited, their effort marked in drying spit. While I stand, they come again, regrouped. They scream of pain. I am for you to break on, but determined that I will accede, you ask blood, and I cannot bleed. Ignorance coils your whip, pays out the hungry lash. Set beside an insatiable sea, my back wears the exchange. I am rock, and you will break me. I wish, he says, making the word with his wet, full mouth, his eyes round beacons of delight at all the words he can wish into life. Small white hands expand the sound, and draw the bigness of his wishes in the air. He is all eagerness, a colt, quivering muscled shoulder at the taste of wind, and belief's disciple, as hands of expectation clap in trust. He just has to say, and it is there. A conjurer he is, no game. This magic he makes is getting tongue and teeth and lips to name his dream. We had put our feet upon a tract of land, long since uncultivated. The bones of ancient women crunched, dry and brittle under our feet. Some of us were not equal to the trek, and fell to picking the bones, squabbling for scrap with their sisters. We left them to it. The scream of vultures swelled the sky, wanting us to drop. But the dreamed oasis, a mirage of heat and hope, kept us high-spirited and moving ever on. Now and then, with despair or some desire, one would blaze herself against the sky. A roast that brought white-collared scavengers, dark suits fluttering to the feast, their cawing to proclaim the heretic a biological travesty. We let them crow, this blinded breed, and sighting by a dream in red-eyed sun, stepped foot by foot over bone-dry desert, thirsty for the dew to slake our feet, dreamers of an oasis where women and men could meet. I have hidden from elephants in this small Scottish village, remembering to bolt the doors of the thicket where I live. I had forgotten that bricks crumple like petals from a poppy flower, and wood splinters with as much resistance as prairie grass under those leaden feet. Try supplicating an elephant, its water off a mud bank to a raging bull, and in their quiet basking nearly makes them flap their ears. So now I ride with the hunters, having cut my teeth on that same wood and honed sharp talons upon mortar while clawing my way out. I have swooped down with the bats and taken the eagle's flight beyond your reach. I learned from wolves to slaver blood and spittle in the night. And I can draw blood, and I can bay at the moon, and I don't fear elephants any longer, only my own ferocity. Ken, I'm fair done in. See my back? It's a sin, so it is. The trail I had to get this prescription made up. And made up's the word, for my doctor's writing's like a drunk bird with dirty feet had staggered out of the paper. Doctors, well, they're only good for a seating to get you off your feet for about an hour. Mind, it's peace all it seems. For see here at home, that man of mine, I'd just have to sit and he's hanging round, telling me I should go and have a wee lie down. Thinks I'm a fool. Lie down with him about. I do only get stuff to put in his tea. See, since he ta'en that redundancy. Wish I could say it went to his head. I've tell him I need nourishment, no punishment at my time of life. But the things he wants for his wife. And when I find out who's feeding them all these newfangled ideas, I'll give them a whack, I'll put them on their back for a week. He's not speaking to me, for he came in with this book yesterday. A look at one photo was enough. Annie choked laughing and he went off in a huff. But my back got sore, just trying to work out which bit of who went where. There is nobody can bend there, least of all me. You'd think he'd get a rest. I mean, we're both past your best. Och, aye, he tells me we're in our prime and how it's safe now that I can't fall. But I wish he would mind that I'm under that doctor half the time and it's doing me no good at all. Felt the bed moving last night. Ah, but it was the wine, the wine. You gave me a rose, a languid full bloom, but in my hair there spoke of flamenco. We danced instead the polka, out of step, deaf leading the blind, and sucking sour wine from goatskin sacks. We wondered if the goat would mind. The rose, heavy with soft satin sleep, flopped, spilled petals dark, like drops of blood. The stem, a poor man's curse, was sharp. I tore my fingers on the barb and smiled. The rose indeed was wild. Saw you dancing on my ceiling. Ah, but it was the wine, the wine. Felt grand driving home, brand new car, latest gear. And there's the street and the house, same as ever, like I'd never been a war. And them all pleased to see me, and no letting on. Just a groan for my dad when he sees my new Minnie. And here's Charlene, pinching my throat so she kens fine she's far too skinny for them. And my mother, acting like she's seen a refugee, cooking a week's messages just to feed me this enormous lunch. Anyway, I thought I would go out for a bit after it. And there's me, prude as punch, feeling like a queen, and going out of my way to see and be seen. But I had reckoned without my mother. Time I gets back, she's all in a dither. Well, you think what you're doing. You're no home 5 minutes and you're out there showing off. Are you daft? Daft is it, says I. And why's that? You need me to tell you, Maggie, says she. What'll folks say? Do you not think you're getting above yourself? Well, I had to look up just in case. But my heart sank all the same, for I felt in disgrace. I'm stood there like a whale with a burst balloon. Ken, there's none like your aim for bringing you down. I was right stuck for words, but that didn't last long. I said, Mother, you're wrong. I wasn't showing off the way that you mean. I was out seeing my old pals, finding out how they'd been. But there's now rang me saying I'm doing all right. And I don't give a shite for what folks will think just because I'm no stuck ahint some kitchen sink or turning to drink or taking drugs or going out of a night mugging some old wife for her life savings because I've gotten out and that's the only way I can feel that I'm out special. Or being like Joker out the back. He thinks managing means standing upright with a skin full of beer and success is being able to cheer the winning team on a Saturday. No, I'm proud I've done me. What should make your heart say is seeing folk round here fear to stand up, fear to strike out, fear even to try. They're all ashamed to aim higher because they've been made feel they've no right to aspire to anything better. If they'd learned to be proud of what they're good at themselves, they'd be more generous when others make good. But nobody is going to stop me being glad that I did. Well, she folded her earrings, sniffs as if she's in pain. Maggie, she says, don't you ever swear in here again. It's been a long time. Sure, things have happened since. People around here come and gone. The couple in that corner separated a while back. Now he's in China, of all places. Yes, they knocked down that row, built singles cottages, isolated doorways blind to the neighbours, in case. Well, in case of neighbourliness, I guess. Still, I'm trying to believe this is you, standing here in our old street that has changed so much, wondering, why are we talking such trivia? And never mind remembering the lad down there who became a second-rate businessman and builds aeroplanes and gets his name in the papers. How about a rumpled bed and the heat that sweated our skin and sizzled on our nerve endings? How about since then? Has it been a long time? There is a point where lovers fall, an edge, and then no ground, only the forever abyss and the sound of soundless gasps blown back in gasping mouths, the streaming limbs, the clutching hands, bodies turning round and round and round in that black hole. No light, dark night black, blacker than the pinhole in his eye where the end of the world began. In a pothole once, in a cavern, illuminated with electric light, the guide, her hand upon the master switch, said, "I will now illustrate the concept of total dark. Please keep still." And she wiped out the whole world at a touch, and me, myself, my whole self me. For you see, I had thought my mind was lit from inside, but it is not. In a dream once, in some childish night, I woke to the starkness of a one-eyed stare. A dull eye floated in the dark. Not an arm's length from my face it hung. Unblinking, unmoving, uncaring it hung and stared and would not let my eyelids down. So dragged into that gaping pupil, I'd fall and drown and fall and drown. He was just a wee lad, dibbling in a puddle, galore fae heed to fit, enjoying he in a guddle. He might have been a poacher, pooing salmon fae the beck. He could have been a paratrooper, swamp up tae's neck. Maybe he was breaking rainbows, reflected in the water. His ill-shod feet would split the prism and mak the colours scatter. Onyway, he was far awa', deep wandered in his dreams. It richt sobered me to mind, a dubs know what it seems. And while I watched and grieved the loss that maks a man a mug, along the road fear breenged his maw and skelped him round the lug. No tattered scraps of rag flap round him, tied into his coat with rope, trouser bottoms with string, the only visible holes where fingers poke through gloves. Still, he gives that impression. From deep in his pocket, the bottle tugs him out of the slump. Toothless, he sucks it in. Blear-eyed, rims trickle tears to the cut of wind. Cornered against the broken wall, he falls into the litter trap. A child, shiny, sparking with colour, stops to point. See that man? Is he drunk? The mother, washing the girl's mind, clothes clean, mouths, no, he's just worn out. Still, he gives that impression. I'm shy. Can't look nobody in the eye. I've seen me go in a shop and just hope nobody would talk to me. Things that happen, like say, you're out for a walk and some bloke that's never even spoke afore goes by and he's giving you the eye. See me? I just want to die. I go red to the roots of my hair. Well, it's no fair, is it? You feel a right twit. See my ma, she says it'll pass. You'll grow out of it, hen. Aye, all right, but when? You can get awfully fed up being the local beetroot. So last time I went out to the disco, I bought this white makeup. White lightning, it said. I thought, nae beamers tonight. This stuff will see me all right. Anyway, there I was, acting it. Doing my pale and interesting bit. White lightning. See under them flashing lights. It was quite frightening, because my face looked all blue. See, when I think it knew, it was mortifying, because they all thought I was dying, and they dialed 999. Fine thing to be, centre of everybody's attention, me. They had me sit on this chair, but when they brought stretchers in, I slid onto the flare and just lay there. I thought, rule number 1, when you've made a fool of yourself, dinna let on, play the game. So I let out a groan and lay still. Until this ambulance fella feels my wrist, and then he gives my neck a twist. And you'll not believe this, but right there and then, he gives me a kiss. Blew into my mouth, honest. God's truth, I was gasping for breath. It just goes to show, you're no safe, no place these days. Anyway, I blew right back. That made him move quick. And he says, are you all right? You going to be sick? And that's when I noticed his eyes. They were dark brown, and staring right into them made my stomach go round. I felt kind of queer. And he says, come on, we'll get you out of here. But I made him take me right home, though I'm seeing him again tomorrow. All the same, how will I tell him, do you suppose, that when you kiss a lassie, you dinna hold her nose? Thou shalt not covet, a man said to me the other day, and I thought how my gyro had just melted away on the bare essentials. I had only been dreaming and meaning nae harm when I mentioned my neighbours were jet set into a warm country. It was only in my heat that I would ever speed up and down the road in a Range Rover again, or holiday in Spain. I decided John Missionary wasn't too bright, so I put him right. Oh, I told him, do you know ken the Tories have been at your book, and Maggie Thatcher was the cook? All the commandments have been rewrit, and the one you quoted has been promoted, thou shalt not have it. I am the new age man, footprints trekked across the changing sand, a line shorter than the cobbles of my spine. I talk to deafened ear, dropping stones in silent water where a cave might magnify the ripple into wave. I build with howling fire, hot coals charring fingers that desire a dream of rivers flooded by a single stream. I stop in lonely spaces, bedding down where barren rock displaces a pain, echoing with need to know its name. I am the oldest thing on earth, fresh minted with unmeasured worth, a child forever running naked in the wild.